I started farming in 1975. I came home from college without finishing, and I came to be with my soon-to-be wife, and I came home because of that and owed the phone company $60 and didn't have a job. Got a summer appointment with the Corps of Engineers and got enough money to pay the phone company, and bought my grandfather's interest in a 100-acre farming operation that he and my father farmed together. Borrowed $10,000 to buy the equipment and borrowed $10,000 to make a crop. Had 100 acres rented in addition. So farmed 200 acres in 1975. In 2 years did a buy me or sell me with my father and bought him out. Got up to 600 acres and then 900 and then 1,000 and then the 80s. An older gentleman from New Maynard Bend rented me 1,000 acres of overflow ground. And anyway, went through all kinds of gyrations, farmed over there for 26 years, I think, and don't farm in the Bend anymore. It was a great experience, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Great land, was subject to overflow from the Mississippi River, but currently we farm a little over 2,500 acres, and it's all in Lake County. We have farmed in 4 counties, Lake, Dyer, O'Bine, and Fulton. We're just in Lake County now, and it's a little easier. My son tends to the biggest part of the day-to-day stuff, and I get to look good and dress in overalls and act like a farmer.
I don't know if there's anything.
For 27 years. And that was another thing, because I didn't have any time. When I first bought that business, we worked about 6 weeks a year, and the rest of the year we didn't have anything to do. And I started going to trade shows and rah-rah meetings, and discovered that it was important to build another season. So I set to building another season. And within about 3 years, I could have worked 24 hours a day, 365 days a year at that business alone, and I still farmed a couple thousand acres. And Manage gave me not only the time that I would have had to spend doing the forecasting, but the confidence to know that the numbers were real, because they came from my books and forecasted what would be happening in the future. And it was really a lot more accurate at that time as far as our output from the farm than it is now, because the gyrations in agricultural commodities have been so tremendous since 2008 that it's pretty hard to forecast output from a farm. For the last few years, it's been very hard to forecast it high enough. I'm afraid in the next few years, it may be very hard to forecast it low enough. But with Manage, we'll know if we have problems and things that we need to address in costs, whether I was credit worthy or not, and really don't know that I was fiscally savvy enough to do all the matriculations necessary to understand whether I was or not. And bumped into Chuck at a trade show, I think, and we got together, and he helped me to build a plan and understand how to build a cash flow and look at profitability measures and what ifs, and we've been doing it ever since. That's been a long time. That was the middle 80s. And I don't know, I probably would have made several fatal mistakes for my business without Chuck's help, and I almost have a couple times with Chuck's help. But the UT Manage program is really, it's been very good for our farming operation, very good. It's taught us to look at things differently than I was interested in looking at them before, a lot more analytically, and I've gone further and participated in other programs beyond that I probably never would have thought were necessary had I not met Chuck and participated in Manage. It just sure does make it easy. Chuck can take half a day and my information and build a forecasting tool that might take me a week to do if I did it by hand. Great program. Absolutely. In fact, I have advised God knows how many people. I've hooked him up with lots of folks. He never did call and say, would you please quit? But I thought he might a couple of times, because I've tried to call him and get to see him before, and it'd be 2 months before I could talk to him. Or a month and a half, a long time. He's I suppose the program is very well subscribed, because people, it's obvious to the value of what you participate. It's pretty easy to see where it's beneficial.